Hey guys, how are you? How are you indeed? Taking a lovely jaunty drive out of Arizona. Got the WSJ, that would be the Wall Street Journal. Yep. The purveyor of truth, facts, and the reality of it all, apparently. Anyway, higher. Let's get this main heading here for you. Let me get this in properly. Check it out. Higher growth powers economy. Higher hiring. Get it right, Francis. Hiring growth. That's the bit I want to talk about. Hiring. More people in jobs. More people in jobs. Powering the economy. And there's a little chart for you there. Let's get the chart inside. That's the one. The one illustrating our entry point into a depression. Not that it's called that here by the Wall Street Journal. And then the subsequent massive boom that we're having, apparently. Yep, we're having a boom. So this is obviously for America that we're talking about, the American economy. And it brings us to the data, the labor stats and the data numbers. The birth-death model that adds people in according to an algorithm and formula into a work environment. There is no true statistical, easy done measure. And we have the birth-death model, which is a fakery, essentially, that adds jobs. And then, of course, there's the participation rate, which is at all-time lows. So for men, particularly, remember, women have been entering the workforce since the 30s, through the 40s, through the 50s, through the feminist revolution, as the Rockefellers wanted to double their tax base and take control over the brainwashing of the kids. So as a result, for men, we're actually at the lowest participation rates since the Depression years of the 30s. So you're having a pizza that is shrinking, and essentially you're celebrating about having the slightly larger slice of pie, but in actual fact the entire diameter of this thing is shrinking, the overall participation. In other words, people are being counted out. If you have 3 jobs, all part-time on 0 contract hours, it actually counts as 3 jobs. It's one person earning less than they used to when they had 1 job, now doing a bit of part-time Uber driving and a little bit of part-time waitering and a little bit of bartending here and there and in 3 different locations. And now you're getting this amazing boom in a workforce. But things aren't as good, aren't near as good. We're in a depression. Let's just remind ourselves, if things are so strong, how come we're on 0.5% interest rates? Yeah, sure, you're going to rise rates. What, by 0.25? Okay, never mind. That's a little bit of nothing. If things are so strong, why aren't we at the 5 to 6% neutral assessed economic monetary policy for controlling both expansion and maintaining enough openness in monetary policy to prevent recession? This is the neutral rate. We're at a decade-long plus of next to 0 rates, and these people want to brag about hiring growth powering the economy. No, I'm afraid it's all a falsitude, and you should forget about it. Next up in our news assessment of the headlines today, even here in the States, making it, Brexit talks move to key trade battle. Bernard was telling me he saw somewhere that it's going to cost the British 40 billion, approximately, is the mooted number, to leave. Why? Why do you have to pay to leave such an awesome club? It's such an awesome club. They should be paying us to go because we're getting so many awesome privileges that we're going to now go without. Hang on a minute. We, the British population, buys all of the European goods on a bigger scale than Europeans are buying our goods, but we must pay to leave so that they can continue to sell more of their stuff and buy less of ours. I said when we predicted Brexit, that was when the bookies were at 80s to 1. I said then that they'd underestimated and they were wrongly sampling, and that Brexit would probably occur on balance of probabilities, and it did. After it occurred, I said, you won't get a real Brexit. You won't get a real Brexit. Then Theresa May came in a Masonic way said Brexit equals Brexit, and I said, there's your confirmation that you won't get a Brexit. It was kind of like the Swiss central banker that said the peg remains central to our policy, and I brought forward our date for the collapse of the euro to the Swiss franc from Q1 to January. There is no real Brexit. How do you have to pay? And what other ongoing payments will be agreed to pay? These people are just going to find other structured means to make us pay for their nasty little bureaucratic multi-super layer state, extra layer of government that needs to be funded, that are jobs for jobs and lobby groups for big corporations to come and attain entrenchment advantages that make the barriers to entry so much higher for small and medium enterprise companies to compete with. That's the game. I think they calculated there's over 100,000 lobbyists. People that are just paid to wine and dine bureaucrats that have been given power that weren't even voted for. And to escape this sclerotic, paralyzed, bankrupt club, you have to pay. But if it's so awesome, why do you have to pay? It sounds more like a divorce where you're the primary earner and the gold digger's trying to extract all she can get before you manage to escape out the door. That's what it sounds like to me. That's how it's behaving like to me. To get your freedom back, you've got to pay. Nah, you ain't going to get the Brexit you think, and they're going to want alimony for a lifetime out of you. There is no clean break in this one, babes, for the British. And then what else did we get? Yesterday, we actually had my little Zionism King update. Everybody who's such a big fan of Trump and how, you know, the political system matters and he's the guy who's fighting the system for you. He's the hope and change voter for those that had had enough of Obama and the Democrats and the Obamacare and all of that. He just said, hey, Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Fancy that. I wonder who was pulling his strings that saw that come about. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, with the third most significant Islamic mosque in the center of it. I visited Jerusalem. It's largely an Arab-Palestinian state. Go look at the boundaries since '68 for Israel and Palestine, and now see how they are today. This is called the slow motion annexation, apartheid, murder and slaughter of heavy-handed paramilitary generals running a state. If ever you wanted to know what paramilitary generals with a free hand and a massive lobby center at the core of Washington, New York and anywhere that matters like LA and Hollywood, you get the silent news that never tells you how these people have been squeezed out of their own country. And now Jerusalem, a cornerstone for so many religions, is now made the capital of Israel, will be recognized by America as the capital of Israel. Who made that decision? Who paid for that decision? Well, I have my own ideas. I leave you to have your own. But so much for thinking that the non-Zion candidate is Trump. Good luck with that one. You're going to be sorely let down. The central banking cartel that has all Shlomo and Yellen and all of her kind are pulling the strings. The people behind them are pulling their strings. The dark state is running the show. And the Balfour Agreement, way back, that I covered way back by the certain family in the establishment of this state, continue to run this show and have their little helpers, their little puppets, their little teleprompter readers sitting there doing the dark and dirty deeds, slaughtering the brown folk, chasing them out of their homes, bulldozing their old legacy areas, running into thousands of years, and taking over cities that has religious significance, not just to Islam but Christianity, and saying this is now the and will be recognized by the United States of America as a capital of Israel, a city that was never even on their territory until recently. So there you go. It's kind of like America moving into Canada and saying, hey, now I've just failed my geography test. The capital of Canada is... help me, somebody help me, I'm failing on film. No idea. Anyway, is it Toronto? Is it Montreal? Is it what? Is Quebec? It isn't. It's divided. I'm confused. Terrible example. Let's go for Mexico. I'm failing badly, guys. Mexico City. Move into Mexico, claim Mexico City, and then declare it the capital of America. Someone's going to have fun in the comment section with our idiocy on that one. Help me write, all my Canadian viewers. I get confused by that. The Australians are a little bit funny as well. They Canberra when you think it's all the other ones. Anyway, love you, leave you with my little headlines rant and my bad geography. Don't buy the Trump solution, number one. Don't buy the Brexit narrative. There is no Brexit. It's just another means of structuring a payment to the EU superstate and maintaining Britain in hock in some way. It'll just be renamed a trade deal. It'll be a transfer of your tax money. It'll be debt loaded up on the British balance sheet that you're expected to service, that your taxes are expected to pay. Prior to the EU, Britain was in a much better debt situation. Since then, its debt has absolutely skyrocketed. It is funding an elite class, the Mandelsons of this world, the Alistair Campbells, all those Blairites that were so hard for the EU. Brown's shameful book and his shameful rewriting of history to protect his sordid name. All of those people are behind your Brexit deal that you'll be getting, and it ain't no deal for you. You're the patsy and you're picking up the tab. And then finally, the hiring growth economy. There's your 3-point bullet weekend. The hiring growth economy, all is love and light. It's a booming economy here. We just happen to have 0.5% interest rates to achieve that, and a fake stat economic model. I'm Francis. That was your Reset Sniper update with bad geography and all. Love you and leave you. Enjoy your weekends. Speak to you again soon.